The steam hit me like a confession I wasn't ready to hear. Thick and unrelenting, wrapping around my skin as the door clicked shut behind me. At 18, in the heart of San Francisco's fog-shrouded nights, I'd lied to my roommates about a late study session, my pulse hammering like it knew this was the line I couldn't uncross. But there he was, across the hazy room, eyes locking onto mine with a pull that felt like gravity rewriting my stars. I froze, towel clutched too tight against my chest, the air heavy with the scent of eucalyptus and unspoken wants. The sauna was a labyrinth of shadowed corners and low murmurs, bodies moving like ghosts in the mist, men of all ages shedding layers. Not just clothes, but the world's judgments. I'd come here on a dare from an online forum, pixels turning real in a rush of terror and thrill. My straight-laced upbringing in a small Ohio town screaming to run. But running had kept me hollow. Nights staring at ceilings, wondering why crushes on boys in high school felt like crimes. This place, this forbidden pulse beneath the city's glittering surface, promised answers or at least a taste of truth. He approached slowly, like he sensed my novice nerves, his bare feet silent on the warm tiles. Mid-20s maybe, with ink tracing the curve of his bicep, a compass rose, pointing nowhere and everywhere. First time, his voice was low, edged with amusement, but soft at the core, like velvet over steel. I nodded, throat dry, words fumbling out in a whisper. Yeah. Is it that obvious? He chuckled, a sound that cut through the steam, and extended a hand. Alex. And yeah, but that's what makes it real. Come on, let's grab a bench before you bolt. We settled into a corner alcove, the heat seeping into my bones, loosening the knots I'd carried for years. Alex leaned back, towel draped casually, his body a map of quiet confidence, lean muscles from weekend hikes in American headlands, skin kissed golden by California sun. He wasn't pushy, didn't leer like the stories warned. Instead, he asked about me, really listened as I spilled fragments, the coffee shop grind funding my community college dreams, the parents back home who mailed care packages of church flyers. Oblivious to the sun, they raised, unraveling thread by thread. Sounds like you're carrying a whole atlas, he said, eyes tracing my face not with hunger, but hunger for understanding. What brought you here tonight? The question hung, and in the haze, truth bubbled up unbidden. I kissed a guy at a party last month. Freaked out, ghosted him, told myself it was the beer. But it's not. It's me. And I hate hiding. My voice cracked. Vulnerability raw in the open air. And for a heartbeat, I braced for rejection. But Alex shifted closer, his knee brushing mine, a spark that wasn't just heat. Hiding's the killer, not the wanting. I get it. Came out at 22. Lost half my design firm buddies overnight. But this city? It's got cracks where light gets in. You're brave for stepping through that door. We talked for what felt like hours. The sauna emptying around us as midnight bled into dawn's tease. He shared sketches on his phone, digital art of fractured skylines mending under rainbow hues. His freelance gigs paying the rent on a Mission District walk-up. I confessed dreams of photography, capturing the unseen stories in alley murals and fairy wakes. Laughter wove in, easing the ache, until his fingers grazed my wrist. Tentative. Electric. Want to get out of here? Coffee. Not steam. My treat. Outside. The fog rolled thick off the bay. Streetlights haloed like hesitant beacons. We walked to a 24-hour diner on Castro Street. Neon buzzing open like a lifeline. Over black coffee and greasy eggs. The world sharpened, his laugh lines deepening as he teased my Ohio accent. My cheeks flushing not from shame, but something warmer. By the time we parted at my dorm steps, his number burned in my palm. And sleep that night was feverish. Dreams tangled in terry cloth and possibility. Days blurred into a rhythm I hadn't known I craved. Text pinged during slow shifts at the cafe, Alex sending doodles of steaming mugs labeled elixir for the brave, me snapping Polaroids of latte art gone wrong. Our first real date was a sunset hike up Twin Peaks. City sprawling below like a promise stitched in lights. He packed a thermos of spiked cider. We shared stories under eucalyptus shade, his conservative Texas roots mirroring my Midwest ones. The sting of family silences we'd both endured. At the summit, wind whipping, he pulled me close, not for a kiss, but a hug that anchored, whispering, "You're not alone in this climb," but shadows lurked, as they do in stories worth telling. My roommate, Jake, caught the glow on my face one evening, prying until I cracked. "It's a guy, isn't it, dude? That's cool. But watch out, my cousin got jumped last year for holding hands downtown." The warning lodged like splinter. And sure enough, whispers rippled through campus. A photo I'd posted of Alex and me at a street fair, innocent, arms slung casual, went viral in the wrong group chat. Slurs scrawled on my locker, fag barista, chalked in haste but etched deep. Panic-clawed, old habits urging retreat. I ghosted Alex for 2 days. Phone silenced, burying in textbooks and double shifts. But he showed up at the cafe on the 3rd. Rain-slicked hair, eyes stormy with worry. "Talk to me." Whatever it is, we face it in the back alley, crates stacked like barricades. I broke the hate, the fear of dragging him into my mess. He cupped my face, thumbs tracing jawline, voice fierce. "Hate's their poison, not ours. And you're no mess. You're the spark that's lighting me up." Then, soft as fog, his lips met mine. Salt and coffee and home. A kiss that shattered the silence I'd built. From there, our worlds intertwined like vines claiming brick. Alex introduced me to his circle, a mosaic of artists and activists in vibrant hate lofts. Potluck dinners laced with queer history tales. I captured them in photos, a drag queen mid-laugh. Feathers askew. 2 dads cooing over a toddler at Pride Prep. My lens found courage there, framing not just faces but the quiet revolutions and glances held too long. Yet drama simmered beneath the romance. Alex's ex, Marcus, resurfaced, a brooding sculptor with a grudge, crashing a gallery opening where Alex unveiled a series inspired by us. Abstract hearts cracked open, mended in electric blues. Marcus cornered me in the coat check, breath hot with whiskey. "He'll tire of your puppy eyes. Kid, I'm the one who knows his scars." Doubt wormed in, but Alex pulled me aside, confessing the past. A volatile love ended in screams and shattered clay. Marcus's jealousy a storm that nearly drowned him. "You're different," he murmured against my temple that night, bodies entwined in his sun-dappled bed. "You see me, not the fix." Lovemaking unfolded slow, exploratory, hands mapping unfamiliar territories, breaths sinking like waves on Baker Beach. Each touch a vow. This is real. This is ours. Suspense tightened as fall deepened. Leaves carpeting Golden Gate Park in crimson warnings. Anonymous notes slipped under my door. Leave town or we make you. Jake swore it was campus jocks. But fear not. Shadows lengthening in my peripheral. Alex insisted on walking me home, his hand in mine a defiant banner. One night, crossing Market Street, tires screeched, pickup swerving close, horn blaring slurs. We dove into a doorway, hearts thundering, his arm shielding me like armor. Call the cops, I gasped. He shook his head, jaw set. It's been on us. But we're not backing down. The turning point came raw, unscripted. Thanksgiving loomed. My parents' annual summons, a siren call of normalcy laced with dread. Bring your friend Alex. Mom chirped over video. Clueless. I booked the flight. Stomach knotted. Alex squeezing my hand at the gate. We got this. Or we bailed to a beach. Texas heat slapped us on landing. His family's ranch sprawling under endless sky. Barbecue smoke curling like questions. Dinner was a minefield. Uncles offhand, Adam and Eve. Not Steve, joke landing like shrapnel. I tensed. Fork midway. But Alex's foot nudged mine under the table, steady. Unspoken, your turn sets the pace. After pie, in a porch swings creak. I came out. Words tumbled, the sauna door, the kiss that rewired me, the love staring back from across smoked brisket. Silence stretched, Dad's pipe puffing clouds, Mom's eyes welling not with tears of loss, but quiet pride. We raised you to be true. Son. That's all. Hugs followed. Awkward but ironclad. Alex's grin splitting wide as we drove into Austin's neon night. Honky-donks pulsing with possibility. Back in the city, the threats escalated. A brick through Alex's studio window. Shards glittering like accusations. Police logs filled, but leads frayed. Marcus's name surfaced in whispers, his alibi thin as smoke. Confrontation brewed at a warehouse rave, bass thumping like war drums. I spotted him in the throng, eyes feral, lunging through strobe lights. Alex stepped forward, voice cutting steel. This ends now. Whatever grudge, it's poisoning you more than us. Fists flew, Marcus swinging wild. Me pulling Alex back as security swarmed. Bruises bloomed, but truth spilled. Marcus's obsession born of unhealed loss. Not hate, but hollow ache. In the aftermath, over ice packs and ER glow, Alex whispered, "We survived." That's the win. Winter thawed into spring, scars fading to stories. My photos hung in a local queer youth exhibit, sauna steam stylized as rebirth. Alex's profile etched in light. Graduation neared. Acceptance letter from SF State clutched like talisman. One evening, fog-kissed pier. He knelt, not with ring, but sketchpad, our faces intertwined. Titled Change Hearts. Marry me? Not today, but when the world's ready. Or hell, tomorrow. Laughter bubbled. Yes, spilling free. Kisses sealing fate on a bridge hum. Years later, in a sunlit loft overlooking the bay, vows exchanged amid canvases and cameras. I think back to that door. At 18, steam-veiled, heart cracked open. Now, at 33, with Alex's hand in mine, our adopted son giggling over blocks. I know, change isn't a moment, but the courage to step through. Love, fierce and flawed, mends what fear fractures. And in America's vast, varied tapestry, hearts like ours beat loudest in the light we claim. The rhythm of our early days together was like jazz improvising on a familiar tune, unpredictable, alive, each note building on the last. Morning started with Alex's alarm, a soft chime pulling us from tangled sheets, his lips brushing my shoulder as he murmured, "Coffee run." I nod, stealing extra minutes in the warmth of his body. The scent of his skin, clean soap and faint graphite from late-night sketches, lingering like a promise. By 7, we'd hit the streets of No Valley, hand in hand through dog walkers and stroller brigades, the city waking indifferent to our quiet revolution. At the cafe, my apron tied loose, steam hissing from the espresso machine. I'd catch glimpses of him at a corner table, laptop open, stylus dancing over tablet, crafting logos for nonprofits that fed the homeless or housed the displaced. "Fuel for the artist," he'd say, winking as I slid over his usual, black with a foam heart I'd etched freehand. Customers noticed, some with smiles, others with averted eyes. But I stood taller, the barista boy blooming under approval's sun. Jay cornered me one shift's end, arms crossed but grin sly. "Spill. This Alex guy's got you humming show tunes." "Serious?" I blushed, nodding, and he clapped my back. "Good. Just text if you need backup." Brothers forever. Evenings were ours, stolen from the grind. We'd wander Hayes Valley boutiques, Alex fingering fabrics for mood boards, me snapping candids of his furrowed brow under boutique lights. Dinner at Ticarius, sharing carnitas and confessions, his first crush on a choir boy in high school. Voice cracking during hymns, my stolen glances at the wrestling coach. Towel-dried hair sparking forbidden fires. Laughter healed the old wounds, but tenderness deepened it. Nights on his couch, documentaries on Stonewall flickering, his head in my lap as I carted fingers through his hair, whispering, "We stand on giants' shoulders." Yet, the world outside wasn't always kind, its edges sharp as shattered glass. Campus buzzed with the locker graffiti aftermath. A professor pulled me aside after class. Voice low, heard about the notes. "Counseling's free, consider it." I nodded, pride stinging. But Alex met me post-lecture with falafel wraps and a fierce hug. "Their ignorance isn't your burden." That night, in the dim of his studio, surrounded by half-finished murals of fractured men piecing holes, we made love again, slower, sure, bodies learning the language of trust. His hands on my hips, guiding, reverent, my lips tracing the compass tattoo, north pointing to us. Afterward, curled sweat damp, he traced patterns on my chest. "You're my true north, Eli." Don't forget, suspense crept in whispers, then roars. The anonymous texts escalated. "Fairy boy. Woods await. Numbers blocked but dread unyielding." I showed Alex one foggy Tuesday, rain sheeting windows like tears. His face hardened, jaw ticking. Police. Now, the station was a fluorescent purgatory. Detective's notepad filling with my shaky script. Alex's arm steel around my waist. Happens too often, the cop sighed, filing it under pending, driving home through downpour. Wipers slashing rhythm. Alex gripped the wheel white-knuckled. "If they touch you," the unspoken hung. Love's ferocity ablade. To counter the chill, we dove into community volunteering at a Castro Center, sorting donations for trans youth runaways. There, amid folded hoodies and canned soups, I met faces mirroring my younger self, scared eyes, tentative smiles. Alex led an art workshop, crayons flying as kids drew my brave self. One boy, 10 maybe, shoved a paper dragon at me, scales rainbow, wings defiant. For you. Cause dragons protect. Tears pricked. Alex caught my eye across the room. Is not a lifeline. That act wove us tighter, purpose threading through passion. But Marcus loomed, a specter gaining form. Alex's phone buzzed during a rare, quiet dinner, pad thai steaming, candles guttering. He glanced, paled. Blocked him months ago. How? The message, a photo of us hiking, timestamp last week. Stalker vibes, chilled spines. We barricaded the door that night. Lovemaking paused for vigilance. Days later, at the gallery preview, air thick with wine and whispers, Marcus materialized, tall, shadowed, clay-flecked hands clutching a champagne flute like a weapon. Congrats on the pretty boy, he sneered at Alex, eyes raking me. Fresh meat suits you. Alex's response was ice. Leave. Marcus. We're done. But his crowds milled. Oblivious. Marcus cornered me by the abstract hearts exhibit. Pieces of us splashed bold. He'll break you. I know his dark. Nights he cried my name. Begging stay. Lies or truth. Doubt slithered. But I held ground. That's past. This is future. Security escorted him out. But seeds sown festered. Home. Alex confessed more. The abuse veiled his passion. Bruises hidden under sleeves. Escape, a therapy-fueled flight west. I was lost then. You my found. We clung through the dark. Body shield and solace. Dawn breaking mercy. Spring's bloom brought fragile peace. Picnics in Dolores Park. Frisbees arcing like hopes. My exhibit invite arrived. Photo selected. The sauna door cracked light. Alex's smile and steam. Pride Month dawn electric. Parade's thumping bass through veins. We marched. Signs aloft. Love wins. Hate spins, his hand in mine. Crowd roaring affirmation. But mid-route, a scuffle erupted, counter-protesters hurling epithets. One lunging close. Alex shoved me behind, fist raised, but cops waded in, dispersing the hate. Bruised elbows, but unbroken spirits that night. Rooftop under stars. We toasted survival, lips sealing packed. As summer hummed, threats quieted. Marcus arrested for stalking. His breakdown a tragic echo. Therapy bridged our gaps. Sessions unpacking baggage till lighter. My parents visited. Awkward tour of the loft. Mom cooing over Alex's art. Dad gruffly approving. Good man. Treats you right. Tears flowed private later. Release sweet. College wrapped. Diploma crisp. Alex's freelance boomed. Commissions from queer brands. Our love, once tentative steam, solidified, rings pondered, futures sketched. Yet drama's embers glowed. A final note arrived. Post-arrest, watch your back. Paranoia peaked. Nights sleepless. Climax crashed one stormy eve, thunder cracking as shadows moved in the alley below. I peered out, heart seizing, figure hooded, glinting knife. Alex, we bolted down, but it fled into rain-slick streets. Police swept, finding Jake's print, jealousy twisted from bro code breach. Confrontation in holding cell, tears, apologies, forgiveness hard won. I thought I'd lose you, he sobbed. Fear makes monsters, I replied, hugging through bars. Healing followed. Bonds reforged. Jake joined therapy circles. Ally blooming. Alex and I, scarred but stronger, planned Hawaii, vows on black sand, waves chanting yes. At 18's door, I'd sought self now. Heart changed. I held whole love. Human threads weave fragile, but in persistence, beauty endures, romance not fairy tale, but fought for truth. The Hawaiian sun dipped low, painting the ocean in strokes of molten gold as Alex and I stood barefoot on the volcanic shore. The island's breath, salt and hibiscus, mingling with our quiet vows. No priest, no pomp, just a ukulele's distant strum and the tide's rhythmic hush. Witnesses to promises etched deeper than ink. In fog and fire. I choose you, he said, voice steady as the horizon, sliding a simple band onto my finger, platinum etched with compass points. I mirrored, tears salting lips, through shadows and light. My north is us. Kisses followed, waves lapping ankles like applause. The changed heart of 18, now a shared pulse. Back in the city, life unfurled like a well-loved book, pages turning with the ease of earned peace. I landed a junior curator gig at a queer arts collective, curating exhibits that amplified voices long silenced, photo series of underground balls in the 80s, installations of AIDS quill fragments reborn in neon. Alex's studio expanded, collaborations with me blending pixels and prints. Our Heartlines show sold out, critics praising the raw intimacy of reclaimed desire. Evenings, we'd cook paella on the fire escape, wine loosening tongues for dreams, adopting, traveling Patagonia, maybe a cabin in the Sierras for quiet winters. But no arc lacks tension. Humanity's weave demands it. My parents' acceptance wobbled when news hit a local scandal. Preacher railing against sauna sins from pulpits echoing my Ohio youth. Mom called. Voice quaver. Honey, they're saying things. Are you safe? Dad grunted in background. Protective growl. I reassured, sharing exhibit links. Alex chiming in with charm. Love's the safest harbor. Ma'am, laughter bridged miles. But doubt lingered, family dinners strained, questions veiled as concern. One visit, over sourdough and clam chowder boudins. Dad pulled me aside. Proud of you, son. But if it hurts, unfinished. But the hug said rest, live true. We're here. Suspense revisited in subtler guises. Marcus, post-rehab, reached out a letter, handwritten, fragile, forgive my storm. Yours talk calm. Alex read it aloud, voice neutral, then burned it in the sink, ashes swirling to drain. Closure's his, not ours, yet echoes haunted dreams, mine of alley knives, his of clay-shattered nights. Couples therapy unpacked them, sessions in a Castro office with rainbow flags fluttering like breaths. Trauma bonds you, the counselor said, but choice frees. We chose date nights, ferry rides to Sausalito, sketching tourists, volunteer shifts at the center. Now with our dragon boy thriving in art class. Romance reignited in stolen moments, picnics at Land's End. Sutro ruins framing us against crashing surf. His head on my thigh as gulls wheeled. Lovemaking evolved. Playful now, bubble baths in the clawfoot tub. Foam crowns absurd. Slow dances to Coltrane in the living room. Bodies swaying to saxophone sighs. You're my melody, he'd whisper, nuzzling neck, hands wandering paths memorized. Intimacy's depth mirrored growth. Conversations on polyamory, myths debunked. Boundaries drawn with care. Fidelity not cage, but choice. Drama peaked unexpectedly, the adoption quest. Home studies probed. Social workers clipboard a gauntlet. Questions on stability. Past threats documented like scars. Any history of violence? She asked. Eyes kind but keen. Alex tensed, my hand squeezing his under the table. We shared all, the brick, the chase, the healing. Her nod, resilience noted. That's the stuff kids need. Months crawled, paperwork mountains, until the call, a 3-year-old boy, foster flipped too often, dark curls and wary eyes. First meeting in a park, swings creaking. He clutched a stuffed whale, whispering, "Stay," or "yes." Tear-choked, sealed fates. Parenting crashed like waves, sleepless nights with teething cries, diaper dashes amid deadlines. But joy surged, Theo's first steps toward us. Wobbly triumph, beach days building sand forts. Alex's laughter booming as waves toppled them. Holidays transformed. Thanksgiving with parents flying west. Mom doting. Dad teaching Theo not tying. Compass legacy passed. Pride that year. Theo on shoulders. Tiny flag waving. Crowds roar symphony. Yet, humanistic threads pulled taut. A center client. Teen runaway mirroring 18 me. Overdosed. News hitting like gut punch. We mourned at vigil. Candles flickering Castro sidewalks. Alex's arm anchor as grief choked. We can't save all, he said later. Voice raw. But we fight for one. That fueled advocacy. Testifying at City Hall for youth shelters. My photos and op-eds. Alex designing campaign graphics. Change rippled. Small but seismic. Funding boosted. Beds added. Years layered like city fog. Theo's school plays. Our 10th anniversary hike recreating Twin Peaks magic. Cider spiked with memories. At 38, gray, threading temples, I revisited the sauna, not alone, but with Alex. Anniversary dare. Steam welcomed. Familiar yet new, we laughed in the haze. Towels loose. Bodies known by heart. Changed everything, I murmured. His kiss affirming, yes. And more. In reflection, that door at 18 was portal to self, not end, but beginning. Love's drama, suspense woven with romance, yields meaning, vulnerability's power, forgiveness grace. In America's heartlands and harbors, gay lives pulse resilient, changed hearts beating toward dawn. One step, one embrace at a time. Theo's laughter echoed through the loft like sunlight fracturing prisms. A 5-year-old tornado of energy chasing laser pointer dots across hardwood floors. Papa Eli. Catch, he squealed, launching into my arms. Curls tickling nose as I spun him high. Alex watched from the kitchen island. Coffee mug paused mid-sip. Eyes crinkling with that soft adoration reserved for us, his family, forged in steam and storms. Mornings like this, with the bay glittering beyond windows and pancakes sizzling, felt like victory's quiet afterglow. But life, ever the storyteller, layered new chapters, each with its undercurrent of tension and tenderness. Where pulled us in tides. My curator role evolved to director, helm of exhibits that bridged eras, A immersive on Harvey Milk's legacy. Visitors gasping at recreated Castro camera shop holograms. Alex freelanced big now, branding for national queer orgs. His compass motifs symbolizing navigation through bias. Theo thrived in Montessori. Finger paints of 3 daddies, us plus imaginary whale friend, melting hearts at parent nights. Yet, beneath domestic bliss, ripples stirred. My parents' health faltered, Dad's heart murmur. Mom's worry lines deepening over calls. Come home soon, she'd urge. Voice thin. Guilt gnawed, Ohio loomed. A gravitational tug. Suspense brewed in subtle fractures. An old contact from Marcus's circle emailed Alex, anonymously at first. Then bold, he relapsed. Blames you. Watch Theo. Paranoia prickled. Old scars itching. We upped security. Cameras blinking red. School pickup staggered. Nights? Theo tucked with whale tails. We'd huddle on the couch. Wine loosening fears. It's echoes, Alex insisted. Thumb circling my knee. We're solid, but sleep evaded. Dreams replaying alley shadows. Knife gleams. A private eye. Higher discreet. Confirmed. Marcus institutionalized. Letters from straitjacket scribbles. Relief washed. But fragility lingered. How thin the veil between past and peace. Romance renewed in counterpoint. To reclaim joy, we escaped to Big Sur weekends, cliffside cabins. Highway 1 winding like veins. Hikes to McWay Falls. Missed kissing skin. Alex pulling me behind boulders for stolen kisses. Hands urgent against redwood's bark. Remember our first fog? He'd tease. Fingers unlacing. Bodies reconnecting fierce. Lovemaking under stars. Ocean roar masking moans. Reaffirmed us lovers. Partners. Survivors. Back home. Date nights persisted. Symphony under chandeliers. His head on shoulder during adagos. Cooking classes. Flower-dusted disasters dissolving in giggles. Humanistic depths called louder. The center's expansion birthed a mentorship program. I paired with Jamal, 17, fresh from Bible-Belt exile. Eyes haunted like mine at 18. Sessions in cafe corners. Lattes steaming. I'd share sauna stories, nerves, spark, transformation. It's scary, but worth it, I'd say, showing exhibit photos. His tentative smile. First crush confessed over weeks. Mirror my arc. Alex joined for art therapy. Sketchpads coaxing Jamal's hidden me to page. Success bloomed. Jamal's poem at open mic. Voice steady. Applause thundering. You saved me, he hugged post-show. Nah, I replied. Throat tight. You found your light. Drama crested familial. Dad's murmur escalated, bypass scheduled. Mom's calls frantic. We flew east. Theo in tow. Ranch air thick with autumn crisp. Hospital waits were vigils. Mom pacing linoleum. Dad joking through 4 drips, tougher than Texas steak. Post-surgery. In recovery's hush. He gripped my hand. Knew about you since high school. Son. Waited for your words. Proud, fierce proud. Tears merged. Alex at bedside with Theo's drawing. A heart-mended cowboy. Mom sobbed later over pie. Family's bigger than blood. Love expands. Ohio thawed. Acceptance full bloom. Return flights lifted lighter. Theo's world widened too. School play as tree sprite. Lines mumbled adorable. But kid drama hit, bully taunts. Your dad's kiss? Gross. Tears at pickup. Well clutched tight. Home. Ice cream therapy. We talk feelings. No shame in love's shapes. Alex drew a family tree. Branches rainbow. Theo coloring fierce. Next day, counselor chat. Bully's parents looped. Ripples spread kindness. We protect. Alex affirmed bedtime. Tucking Theo. With love, not fists. Summer festivals pulsed. Outside lands. Bass vibrating bones. Theo dancing wild between us. One eve, amid food trucks and fireworks, Alex knelt again, not proposal redux, but promise renewed, 10 years. Eternity next, rings glinted. Theo cheering yes as burst lit sky. Vow renewal planned intimate, beach at dawn. Friends circling, waves officiating. Yet, broader storms gathered, national tides shifting. Rights rolled back in whispers of legislation. Protests reignited. Signs dusted off. We marched again. Theo's small hand in mine. Alex's voice chanting. A scuffle near end. Agitators shoving. Pepper spray stinging. We shielded Theo, fleeing to safer streets. Lungs burning. Home. Debrief over cocoa. World's messy, Alex said. But we clean our corner. Advocacy amped. Donations. Petitions. My TEDx talk on doors to self. Views soaring. Fall brought harvest. Theo's birthday bash. Piñata bursting candy rain. Dad's recovery visit. Fishing Golden Gate. Stories swapped. Romance simmer domestic. Lazy Sundays. Bodies lazy tangled. Coffee cooling bedside. Intimacy's evolution. Now playful mentors to Theo. Modeling consent. Émotions palette foule. Reflection deepen with age. At 40. Sauna memory vivid. Steam's embrace. Alex's approach. Changed heart. Revolution. Dramas forge tempered us. Suspense to strength. Romance to roots. In gay America's mosaic. Meaning lies in persistence. Loving loud. Lifting others. Hearts forever altered. Beating bold. Decades mark approached like a cherished album. Tracks worn from replays, yet fresh in spin. Theo. Now a lanky 11. Blasted indie rock from his room. Posters of Billie Eilish and Harvey Milk collages I'd curated. A blend of pop pulse and history's heartbeat. Dad's. Arcade tonight, he'd yell. Joystick grip inherited from Alex's gamer youth. We'd pile into the Prius. City lights streaking as quarters clinked in Pac-Man cabinets. Laughter drowning traffic hum. Family. Once dreamed in Steam's haze. Now tangible as calloused hands holding joysticks. Career currents swelled. My directorship greenlit a traveling exhibit. Veils lifted. Queer California. Photos from my early days to Theo's school portraits. Alex's art interlacing. Premiere in L.A. Star-studded. Elliot Page keynoting. Tears as he shared parallels. Backstage. Champagne fizzing. Alex pulled me into shadows. Your vision. My lines us. Kiss heated. Quicksilver. Guests oblivious. His firm Boom 2, studio in Soma. Team of 5. Project for Glad billboards beaming across Times Square. Success tasted shared. Client dinners. Toast to the power couple. Suspense simmered low. Embers banked. Marcus's shadow faded fully. Release letters exchanged. Coffee meet neutral. Closure incivility. Hurt people hurt, he admitted over lattes. Eyes clear. Alex nodded, hand finding mine under table. Healing people heal. Forgiveness's weight lifted. Space for new narratives. But micro-tensions tugged. Theo's first crush. A classmate's shy note passed in lunch. How do I tell? He fretted, cheeks flaming. We guided gentle. Books on spectrum love. Open talks, no judgment. Is coming out at 13. Casual over pizza. I like boys. Maybe girls too. Cool. Hugs enveloped. Pride swelling. Always cool. Kid. Loves your compass. Romance. Matured vintage. Poured rich. Anniversaries marked ritual. Sauna revisit yearly. Now with robes and reservations. Steam sparking memories. Followed by Cliff House dinners. Crab cakes and Cabernet. Toasts to firsts and forevers. Intimacy deepened, exploratory. Toys from curiosity shops. Laughter-laced lessons. Tantric workshops. Breath synced to candles flicker. Bodies. Etched with time's soft lines. Known intimately, each freckle story. Scar badge. Still my spark. Alex murmured post-love. Fingers tracing hip bone. Heartbeats tandem. Humanism's call amplified. Jamal. Now, college-bound artist. Interned at the center, his murals adorning walls. From shadows to shine. We mentored duos. A trans teen navigating binders and binders of red tape. A bi-dad reconciling faith and family. Workshops overflowed. Stories spilling. Your exhibit gave me words. Impact rippled. Grants poured. Satellite sites in Oakland. Sacramento. National panels beckoned. Flights to D.C. lobbying. Voices in Senate halls echoing. Equal hearts. Equal rights. Drama, dance personal. Mom's cancer diagnosis landed like thunderclap. Breast. Early but fierce. Flight shuttled. Chemo chairs our vigil. Her hand frail in mine. Dad's stoicism cracking. Fight like you love. Eli, she whispered. Wig askew but spirit steel. Alex organized care baskets. Art supplies for sketches during infusions. Theo's cards. Whale warriors battling beasts. Remission bells rang months later. Party in Ohio barn. Barbecue. Bluegrass. Toasts to unbreakable threads. Her hug fierce. You showed me strengths in showing up. Theo's teen tides rose. Middle school minefield. Crushes complicating. Identity fluid. A school dance invite from Crush Luca sparked joy. Then jitters. What if they stare? We prepped. Outfits picked. Alex's tailoring flair. Pep talks on. Dance your truth. Post-event glow. Kissed him. Dads. Felt right. High fives. Ice cream toasts. But shadows. Online trolls hacking his socials. Slurs flooding feeds. We reported. Supported cyber safety classes. Community rallies. Resilience built. Theo's essay contest win on Family Forged, published in Youth Today. Broader gales howled. Election cycles churning hate. Rainbow flags torn in Heartland headlines. Protests surged. We frontlined. SF streets marching. Signs no going back. A kettling near City Hall. Tear gas canisters hissing. Bodies press shield wall. Theo. Home safe with Annie. Texted hearts. We emerged coughing. United. Aftermath. Op-ed co-written. Love's frontline. Viraling empathy. Harvest sweetened. Theo's bar mitzvah. Jewish roots from Alex's side. Torah portion on justice. Voice steady. College tours loomed. Dreams diverging. His to NYU film. Capturing stories like mine. Empty nest whispers, but excitement tempered ache. Renewal vows on that same pier. Theo officiating teen solemn. You taught me love's action. Rings refreshed. Ocean affirming. At 48, reflection crystallizes. Sauna step at 18, catalyst to authenticity. Drama's tempests, threats, losses, revelations, sculpted depth, romance's bloom. Perennial. Meaning? In gay tapestry, we thread resilience, emotional, raw, romantic, changing not just hearts, but worlds. One vulnerable step forward.